came in over the Christmas holidays between the 23rd and the 29th was my last installment of the Mysterious Forest Sock Club from Les Garçons. I got my first set in October and I did share it on the podcast, and I got my second set in November, and I can't remember if I shared that one on the podcast or not. This is the December colorway, and I saved it so that I could open it with all of you. Oh, okay. Wow. So each set comes with one of these beautiful enamel pins, and they're designed by Max the Knitter. He's a very accomplished graphic artist, as well as being a knitting pattern designer. They come with a beautiful enamel pin. They come with a progress keeper. This set is absolutely gorgeous. You can see the sparkle, the stellina running throughout. This definitely has a vibe, a Christmas vibe, without it being like completely in your face Christmas, if you know what I mean. Each one also comes with a mini set. So I'll show you all three. That one is a feather, and then this one is a foxtail, because the first one had a fox enamel pin, which I don't have with me right now, and this one had a crow, and then this one has a deer. So there's an antler. They're really beautiful, attention to detail. They are, I think, designed to be sock set, but I feel like they're almost too special to be made into socks. If I put these two together, you can see there's some green there. There's definitely some colors that carry forward. This has the gray from here, and they're absolutely wonderful. I'm thinking that if I could find a shawl that needed 3 100-gram fingering weight skeins and 3 10-gram minis, it would be really nice to make a shawl out of these sets. The other options, though, are, you know, I could make some color work mittens. I could make a hat or hats. I could always use them for what they were intended for, which was socks. But I'm not sure right now. Super special. They're super special. I just don't want to put them away and not use them. Hi everyone, it is Sunday, January 2nd. Happy New Year and welcome to Vlogmas Wrap Up. The last time I saw you was December 23rd. I had checked in briefly to announce the winner of the giveaway, and the winner did contact me by email, so I will be sending her prize out to her this upcoming week, so that's exciting. So as I had mentioned on the 23rd, I did go offline for a few days. It was really nice, very relaxing. We did not exchange presents. We just spent time together. We played games and poker. We watched Netflix and hung out together. We ate a lot of good food and had some drinks, and it was just really nice and really relaxing to be able to spend time together. I did want to film a wrap-up video though, that will give you a chance to see the final days of my advent calendars. So I'm going to insert some video of me unwrapping the final days of my advent calendars and showing you what was inside. I also wanted to talk about my new cast on. So in a previous Vlogmas episode, I had shown you the yarn that I was going to use for the Stephen West hygge knit along. I did cast that on. I am very pleased with this, and I'm about I believe I'm about halfway done. I'm really enjoying this project so far. It is the Cabled Trellis Shawl by Stephen West. This is my first time doing cables. So in the video tutorial that goes along with the hygge knit along, Stephen West shows you some of the techniques that you need to be able to knit this shawl. And one of the techniques that he does demonstrate is using a cable needle to make the cables on this shawl, and also how to do the cable work without using a needle. I chose to use the needle because I just feel more comfortable and more confident, and that my stitches aren't going to run away on me. Also, the yarn is fairly dark, and I am often knitting in the evening, so I feel like I need to use the cable needle to make sure that I don't drop any stitches. So I've been using it and it's been working out very well. So the yarn that I am using to knit this shawl is Zen Yarn Garden DK weight in the colorway Guacamole. And I just love this colorway. This yarn, although it's green, it definitely has a kind of a golden glow undertone to it that I really like. And as well, I'm using this Sauber ball. And one of the things that I really love about this shawl is that the Sauber ball does all the color work for you. So underneath the cables throughout the shawl, the Sauber ball is changing colors and making these really nice color changes, and I'm just really enjoying it. And it makes you want to continue knitting because you want to see how the next layer is going to look, or what the next row is going to look like. Another reason that I'm really loving knitting on this shawl is that it's extremely repetitive, which doesn't sound like it would be a good thing, but it really is. I don't like looking at a pattern and having to look at each instruction very closely. I often knit while watching TV or watching podcasts or listening to an audiobook, so I don't want to focus 100% of my attention on my knitting project. I think I probably focus only about 50% of my attention, and that's what I enjoy doing. I don't mind focusing for short periods of time to do something more complex, but I don't want to spend hours doing that. So this pattern is very repetitive in terms of you start the row you get to the repeat, and then the repeat is really straightforward and you don't need to look at the pattern for the rest of that row. You just continue your repeat until you get to close to the end of the row, and then there's some additional instructions. So what I've been able to do is just look at the pattern, go to the repeat, start the repeat, and then just continue. And at that point, then I usually switch my attention, as I said, to a podcast or TV or something else. So I'm really enjoying that. I really like the way the cables make the shawl look complicated or complex, but really it's not. It's very simple, very straightforward. I would highly recommend this pattern. This is my first time doing cables at all, and it's super straightforward. So anybody who's never done a cable work, I think this is a good first project to learn how to do cables. I definitely will knit this shawl again in the future because I'm enjoying knitting it. I find it very relaxing and repetitive, but I'm also enjoying the way the shawl is turning out. And I think I will want to keep this one, but I may want to make another one for a gift for somebody because I think it would make a really nice gift as well. So hopefully I will be done that soon. So one of the things that I've been doing over the past couple days is taking out all of my yarn from the various locations within the house, making sure I know what I have, taking stock or taking inventory so I have an idea of what I have. One of my big goals for 2022 is to knit from stash as much as possible. And in order to do that, I really needed to pull everything out and have a good look at it. I reorganized it. I also put a lot of it into plastic bags. As much as I don't like having the yarn in plastic bags, I want to protect it from any little creepy crawlies or any little critters. We don't tend to have much of a problem with that in Canada because the winters are so cold, or at least in the part of Canada that I live in. We don't have bugs or critters in the house during the winter time. Everything pretty much dies, but you can't be too safe. And if I'm not going to touch something for a while, I would prefer not to open it up or have a look at it and find out that there's been moths eating it or what have you. So I did want to protect it, so I put most of it into very, very large Ziploc bags and organized it. So one of the things that I did want to chat with you about today is just my knitting goals for 2022. I wrote it down. I initially did a brain dump, or what I call a brain dump, where I just, as ideas occurred to me for things that I wanted to accomplish in 2022, I would just jot it down, and then I was able to go through that and kind of organize my thoughts. So one of my most important plans for 2022 is to clean up all my whips. So I either want to finish them or frog them, and I'm not happy about the fact that I'm carrying forward so many whips into 2022. I think that I am going to really work on becoming more of a monogamous knitter in this new year. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to frog or finish all the whips that I have outstanding, and then I'm going to work on knitting on one project monogamously. The only thing is, if it's a complicated project, I may have one smaller project on the needles as well that I can bring with me when I go places. Something simple, but I definitely don't want to have more than one large project going at a time. I find when I put something down, I have a really hard time going back to it and figuring out where I was, which also brings me to another one of my knitting goals for 2022 is to take a lot more notes. I want to keep a notebook in my knitting bag and write down everything as I go, even things that I think I won't forget. Sometimes I've even not noted the size of needles that I was using and then borrowed the needles for another project, and I always thought I would remember specifically which size needles I've used, and I don't always. So I think writing everything down as I go will just make things a little bit easier for me. And I also want to update my Ravelry projects. I have been atrocious. I have not been good at keeping my Ravelry project pages updated. I think I only have one in there that has all of the information and pictures, but one of my goals for 2022 is to update my Ravelry and keep it updated. So just to recap, I want to clean up my whips. I want to knit primarily from stash. I want to try to stick to one major project at a time with a possible second additional small project if it's very easy and mindless. I want to take copious notes and write every little thing down immediately and keep my Ravelry project pages updated. So those are my main goals or my main knitting plans for 2022. I also have a goal to learn spinning. I have a spinning wheel that I got at an extremely good price last year, secondhand. So I'd like to take advantage of that and try to spend a few hours spinning each month or each week, even if that's possible. So for the spinning though, I think what I would like to do is wait until my whips are cleaned up, and then when that's done, then I will potentially add some spinning time into my week. So I already started, as I was cleaning out my yarn stash and reorganizing it, I did come across a few whips that I have frogged already, and I put aside I think 3 other projects that I want to frog. One is complete, but I'm not crazy about it, and I would really like to reclaim that yarn. So I actually have enough whips to almost have a complete make 9 chart just for whips. So I may actually even have a 9th, and I'm just not thinking of it right now. So my 9 or my 8, I should say, whips that I do want to finish early in the new year would be my Cordy sweater, my Magic Mountain Cardi, this cabled trellis shawl that I'm working on currently, my shawlography, my Ring of Rings cowl, and my spree socks. So my spree socks, I have one done, and I just need to make the other one. And I also have a Lyle cap that I was working on, and I put it down for some reason and never went back to it. I also have a scarf that I started last year. I really like the idea of this scarf. I love the look of this scarf. I'm just not sure I picked the right yarn for this scarf. It's called the Mania scarf, and it's specifically made for minis, to use mini skeins. I call it my scarf of epic proportions because it's huge, or it's going to be huge when it's done. I like it because it's extremely repetitive and easy to work on, but I'm just not crazy about the colors that I picked. It's not working out the way I expected it to. So that one's iffy. I'm just not 100% sure if I will be continuing that one or I'll be frogging it. So that will probably be, I need to think a bit more about that one. I also have a Make 9 chart for 2022 of new things that I haven't started yet and I haven't cast on. Some of them are, I would say, going to be quite a challenge. It may even be beyond my, some of them may be beyond my abilities, but I would like to give it a shot anyways. So one of the things that I would like to work on in 2022 is a Maya cardigan. I would also like to work on a Harley sweater. I have the yarn for that already, but I haven't started it, and the yarn's by Knit Collage. I have some kits to make colorwork mittens. So I would like to make at least one pair of colorwork mittens. I would like to make a Wandering Cables cowl. Now that I've started doing a bit of cable work, I kind of wanted to continue that. So the Wandering Cables cowl looked very interesting. I saw that cowl, Constance made it. I think her podcast is called Stitching Through the Days or Stitching the Days. It's new to me, and I did watch her latest episode, and she had made a beautiful cowl, and I think I would like to make that as well. I definitely want to make a half and half triangles wrap. I wanted to make one last year. I know that's something I would use a lot. I would get a lot of use out of it, and I just love them. And I love all of the different color combinations that people have done. So that's definitely on my list of things that I want to make in 2022. I also want to make a Humlebee shawl. That's been on my list, and I've wanted to make that for a while. And a Wave of Change jacket. The project that I think would be very challenging for me, but I would just love to try it, I think it's absolutely gorgeous, is the Fox Thought sweater. And I am going to try making that in 2022. So do you have knitting plans for 2022? Do you try to plan out the year a little bit or have a Make 9 chart? Or do you primarily just whatever catches your interest at that time, you cast on? Let me know what your plans are for 2022 in the comments below. I'd be really interested in reading what your plans are, and that may actually change what my plans are because I do tend to get distracted by shiny new things. So I would love to have a read through what you're going to be doing. I'm wishing you and your families a very safe and healthy and happy new year. Take care, and we will talk again soon. Bye.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling